Hey everyone, I'm Majiin and welcome back to another episode of World Tour Weekly, your one-stop shop for all competitive Flesh and Blood news. It's been a very busy week with the world premiere of Compendium of Rathe, Silver Age's first calling and showdown events, and the unveiling of the new tournament packs. Let's get into it. Obviously, this episode is mostly going to be about Silver Age, but I want to take a second and talk about some of the majestics that were open in the world premiere that we didn't know about previously. First up is a card that won't have any effect on the current CC format, but that I expect to be very powerful once we get another Mystic hero, and that's Rippling Wave. It's another cloaked piece of equipment, so it does start the game face down. You can pitch 1 chi to flip it face up and return a defending blue action card to its owner's hand. It also has Blade Break 3. So without taking its ability into consideration, you can pitch a chi and block with your arms to have Blade Break 3. Not exactly super exciting, but not terrible. Now let's assume that you block with a 3-block blue action card. Mystic heroes love those, so you probably have plenty. After damage resolves, you can pitch a chi into Rippling Wave, flipping it and returning your blocking card back to your hand. You can then block with the equipment later in the game, essentially turning this into pitch a chi and block 6. Obviously, this is already pretty good, but that's only on defense. Rippling Wave does not specify that it has to be your card you return to your hand. That means that you can send an attack, and if your opponent blocks with a blue action card, you can pitch a chi into Rippling Wave, bouncing it back to your opponent's hand before damage is even resolved. I could picture this making late game blocking decisions very tough against Mystic heroes. The second card is something I expect to see quite a bit more of in the coming future, and that's Temporal Wobble. We've had counterspells in Flesh and Blood before, but they were either not very good or just too specific to see a lot of play, like Aetherize. That is not the case with Temporal Wobble. Acilio was a strong deck before the release of Compendium of Rathe, and I expect it to be a strong deck after as well. This card seems to fit in pretty well for the Lightning Wizard. Not only is it a wizard deck that can expect to have a sigil on the board on any given turn, it also can discard Temporal Wobble to Acilio's hero ability if it isn't the right time for the card to be used. So the downsides in the deck are relatively easy to work around, but how high are the upsides? Pretty damn high. Imagine countering your opponent's Codex of Frailty, Savor Bloodshed, or Weaver Spinneret. I know I'm only pointing out Marionette cards, but that was one of Acilio's worst matchups, and this card seems to be pretty good into the current Marionette builds. Definitely keep your eye on this card. I expect it to be quite impactful. Okay, that's enough about classic constructed stuff, but before we get into Silver Age, we have a couple of more things to talk about. The first of which is James White opening antique packs at the world premiere when this happens.
Yeah, look, all the cards in this Antiquities pack are generics.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Really? So for everybody?
Yeah. Like this is the good stuff. This is where you're gonna get.
Oh, my
like that,
gosh,
like that,
dude. Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I need them.
Yeah. All right.
All right, what else we got?
What else we got?
Oh, no way!
No way!
It's not true.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Crater's luck.
I just thought that was super cool that it happened on the live stream and wanted to show everyone who hadn't seen it yet. And our last order of business is the debut of the new tournament packs. I did mention these last week, but at that time we didn't know what was actually in them. It turns out the tournament packs have some really cool cold foil marvels for a bunch of cards for specific classes. There's one in particular that I am absolutely going to trade for. Can you guess what it is? Alright, and with all that done, let's finally get to talking about Silver Age in today's Metagame Minute. This last weekend we had the world premiere of Compendium of Rathe featuring the first ever Silver Age calling. Let's take a look at the metagame breakdown to see what's what. Wow, that is a lot of different heroes. 142 copies means Briar leads the pack with over double the amount of players as the second most popular hero, Bravo Flattering Showman. I don't think this would be super surprising to anyone. Redline Briar is a strong, straightforward, aggressive deck with a large card pool. Seems like a slam dunk week 1 pick. Fi is third most represented, which again makes sense. He got a lot of great tools in Compendium and can put out a truly ridiculous amount of consistent damage. Fun fact, Florin Christian Logan went 10-4, which was good enough for 22nd place, playing the Fi Silver Age Precon deck straight out of the box. I'm not going to list every hero in the graphic because there is an absolutely absurd amount, but I will say that Kano, Dorinthia, and Terra were definitely more represented than I expected. Oh, you thought that was all the heroes? There is still an entire second page. Shout out to the one Tough Nut Gamer, by the way. Moving over to the conversion rates, most heroes seem more or less in line, except Olympia and Valda converted like crazy. Dorinthia did well too, and I have to imagine that those conversion rates are mostly thanks to the breakout of the Decimator Great Axe build of warriors that did so well in the event. You can watch them on a couple feature matches during the event if you want to see what they're all about. The other big shocker to me is that Icelander did terrible. One person out of the original 22 made it to day 2. My theory for this rough showing is that some cards that seem like they would be good in the Ice Wizard really just don't work that well in the format right now. I don't think the deck is like tier 1 or anything at the moment, but it has to be better than a 4% conversion rate. Or at least I really, really hope it is. For the top 8 of the event, we had 1 Bravo Flattering Showman, 1 Olympia, 2 Dorinthia, 2 KO, 1 Oldhim, and 1 Briar. I do wonder how the player base is going to adapt now that we have an actual expected meta and the Decimator Great Axe builds of Warrior are a known quantity. I think we can expect quite a lot of surprises in the format though. It's brand new and there are quite a lot of things that haven't been explored yet. Case in point, my favorite feature match of the event was actually round 8 with one of the 3 Levias in the field. It's an incredibly close feature match with the Shadow Brute facing off against Tournament Boogeyman Briar. Let's take a look in today's Razor replay.
He needs to keep a blue, the Agile Wind-Up, and the Graveling Growl, which is exactly what he has kept. It looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Going to go into some of the agility. Hellhammer will hit the banner zone. Turn off Blood Dead. Will be a 6 as I enter the banner zone, which means Graveling Growl can be played as well.
All right, 6 go again from the big, chunky, demonic pile of steel. Of course, Embodiment of Earth is available, but the Graveling Growl skillfully kept in the hand from that buzzer discard. It's a big, beefy 7.
Now things get scary, though. If Theo just blocks out and Killian does not draw away to turn off Blood Dead like he just did, he just dies to that 9 Blood Death that is currently racked up in the banner zone.
Oh, yeah. Folks at home, join us in chat as we begin to spin the wheel.
The Brute Life Strikes. There are a lot of whiffs in this deck, a lot of cards that don't have the 6 power. If he doesn't discard a 6 power off the top, all Theo needs to do is block out. What is it? It's a 6. Okay. Blood Debt will be turned off.
A brick would be nice. Pound. Oh, okay. Pound of flesh. I will banish a 6 from my hand, Theo. If you cannot banish a 6 from yours, you are going to lose.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Such a fun game. It's always really cool to see a non-standard deck do its thing on camera. All right, with our first Compendium legal Silver Age events in the book, that means we have some champions to celebrate in today's weekend winners. We talked a lot about the calling, and after 2 days of Silver Age gameplay, Paul Van Ysel showed why Briar was the most represented deck in the field as he piloted her to a first place finish. Also at London, Kano won our first ever Sunday showdown in the hands of Jacob Clemens. Congratulations to both of our weekend winners. As we move to wrap up here, there are a couple of things that I recommend you keep an eye on. First of which are the new Battleground events. These are tier 2 organized play events which are made for local game stores. They're designed to be the pinnacle of in-store competitive play, bringing higher stakes tournaments to the local level. Each one will be a single day event with no qualification needed. First place gets a PTI and a random drop gold foil, while there are some other prizes that get distributed out to the top 8. Battleground launch events are going to take place March 28th, 29th, and then continue seasonally throughout the rest of the year. And finally, this weekend is Calling San Diego, featuring another Silver Age main event. I will also be one of the casters there, so make sure you tune into the live stream. That's all I got for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Majiin, and I'll see you next time on World Tour Weekly.